USS Missouri, nicknamed Mighty Mo, was the last battleship ever built by the United States and one of the most advanced of its time. It belongs to the Iowa-class battleships, a group designed for speed, armor, and overwhelming firepower. Built at the Brooklyn Navy Yard and launched in 1944, Missouri entered the war at a time when battleships were reaching the peak of their engineering evolution. Stretching 887 feet long and weighing about 58,000 tons when fully loaded, this ship wasn't just a vessel, it was a floating fortress. Her sleek, narrow hull allowed her to reach impressive speeds of over 33 knots, which is about 61 kilometers per hour, incredibly fast for a ship of that size and weight. When we move to the exterior, the USS Missouri is pure dominance on display. Her long deck, bristling with heavy turrets and anti-aircraft guns, gives her an unmistakable silhouette. The main battery consists of 9 16-inch, 406mm Mark 7 guns, housed in 3 massive turrets. Each shell fired from these guns weighed nearly 2,700 pounds and could strike targets over 20 miles away. Alongside those, the ship carried 25-inch dual-purpose guns and over 80 40mm and 20mm anti-aircraft guns, making her a nightmare for enemy aircraft during the war. The gray paint scheme, radar masts, and superstructure were designed not just for utility but also intimidation. Seeing the Missouri approaching was enough to shake any enemy fleet. Now let's step inside this steel giant and explore the interior. The USS Missouri was more than just a war machine, it was also a small city on the sea. The ship could accommodate a crew of over 2,700 men, including officers and sailors. Inside, you'll find a maze of corridors, crew quarters, command centers, and engine rooms, all built with precision and discipline. The crew's quarters were compact but functional, with metal bunks stacked in rows, small lockers, and communal areas for eating and recreation. The officers' mess, on the other hand, had a more refined atmosphere with wooden tables, polished brass fixtures, and even artwork, small touches that reminded them of home in the middle of the Pacific. Moving deeper inside, one of the most historic areas is the deck where the Japanese instrument of surrender was signed on September 2, 1945. This simple wooden deck area, overlooking Tokyo Bay, became the symbol of peace and victory. Standing there today, you can almost feel the weight of history, the moment when a global war ended and a new era began. Visitors can still walk on that same deck, preserved exactly as it was during that momentous day. The Bridge and Combat Information Center of the USS Missouri were the nerve centers of the ship. Here, officers managed navigation, communication, and gunnery coordination. Back in the 1940s, this technology was cutting edge. Radar screens, plotting tables, communication equipment, and analog computers allowed the ship to locate and target enemies with incredible accuracy. The engineering spaces below deck housed the ship's 4 massive steam turbines and 8 boilers, capable of generating 212,000 horsepower. That's enough power to move this 45,000-ton monster through rough seas at high speed. The sound and heat down there were intense, the heart of the Missouri literally thundered with life. When it comes to performance, USS Missouri was unmatched for its time. Her blend of armor, speed, and firepower made her a formidable presence in every naval battle she participated in. She saw action during World War II, the Korean War, and even in the Gulf War in the early 1990s after being modernized with Tomahawk cruise missiles and Phalanx CIWS defense systems. In her modernized version, she could launch missiles at targets hundreds of miles away, showing how adaptable her design truly was. Even decades after her launch, she remained a symbol of American naval supremacy. The USS Missouri was designed not just to fight but to survive. Her armor plating, up to 12 inches thick in some areas, was designed to withstand enemy shellfire and torpedo hits. Yet, despite her immense protection, the ship maintained incredible speed and agility. This balance of power and precision was what made the Iowa-class battleships so legendary. When fully fueled and armed, Missouri could operate independently for months, supported by her vast stores of fuel, food, and ammunition. Today, USS Missouri is no longer an active battleship but a floating museum, permanently docked at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, right next to the remains of the USS Arizona, the ship that marks the beginning of America's involvement in World War II. This powerful symbolism, where the war began and where it ended, makes Pearl Harbor a deeply emotional place for visitors. The ship has been restored to its wartime glory, and you can walk through nearly every section, from the captain's cabin to the mess decks, from the gun turrets to the engine rooms. Every hallway echoes with stories of courage, sacrifice, and pride. As for her price, the USS Missouri was a marvel of investment during her construction, costing around $100 million in 1940s currency, equivalent to more than $1.5 billion today. If a ship like this were to be built now, the cost would be astronomical, considering the materials, manpower, and advanced systems required. But what makes the Missouri truly priceless is her historical and emotional value. She represents victory, resilience, and peace after one of humanity's darkest chapters. Even though battleships are no longer central to naval warfare, the USS Missouri remains a timeless reminder of engineering excellence and human determination. Standing on her deck, surrounded by the vast Pacific, one can imagine the roar of the guns, the rush of the crew, and the silence that followed the signing of peace. From her powerful engines to her majestic guns, and from her legendary battles to her peaceful retirement, the USS Missouri continues to inspire generations. If you ever visit Hawaii, stepping aboard the USS Missouri is like stepping back in time. Every bolt, every plate, and every corridor tells a story of power, honor, and the hope for peace. The Mighty Mo is not just a battleship, she's a living witness to history, a floating testament to human skill and sacrifice. Her presence